You think you know The Lion King? Think again. That tear you shed for Mufasa? It almost never existed because the scene was nearly cut. The roar that gave you chills? It wasn't even from a lion. And that African savanna? Created by a team who'd never even been to Africa. What if I told you this kids' movie was once considered Disney's biggest mistake and then became its greatest legend? From real animal encounters gone wrong to secret messages hidden in the stars, this story's wilder than you ever imagined. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell because we're diving deep into the Pride Lands to uncover the Lion King's most jaw-dropping secrets. That fart sound? It's 100% real. Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella, who voiced Meerkat Timon and Warthog Pumbaa, respectively, in 1994's The Lion King, tell Entertainment Weekly that Pumbaa's flatulence actually came out of a particularly rambunctious recording session. "We were doing Guys and Dolls," remembers Lane. "So we would record in the mornings sometimes, and we'd be a little sleepy. And Ernie, to entertain me during the recording, would make flatulent noises. While he was doing his dialogue, he would make fart sounds to make me laugh." And they eventually incorporated that into the character and the song. No real lions were ever recorded. Rather than use recordings of lions and hyenas for the film, Disney looked to the vocal talents of voice actor Frank Welker to provide the sounds to bring the story to life. He's also appeared in The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, The Lion King 1, the 2019 version of the original film, and the movie cartoon spin-offs too. He sounds great. Disney built new tech for this scene. For a 6-minute scene? Isn't that crazy? In addition to drawing thousands of wildebeests, the CG department had to create an entirely new program so that the wildebeests wouldn't pass through each other while they were running, allowing for a more realistic animation sequence. Scar was originally a baboon. In early drafts of the script for The Lion King, Mufasa and Scar weren't related. The story was first developed as a war between lions and baboons, so Scar was conceived as a baboon who threatened Mufasa's position as a leader. When the story was tweaked to have an internal conflict amongst a pride of lions, Scar was retooled as a rogue lion who wasn't related to Mufasa and just wanted his throne. A real earthquake shook The Lion King. Overcoming unforeseen problems is simply part of the process, and during the making of The Lion King, the creators were interrupted by an earthquake in Los Angeles on the 17th of January 1994. The infrastructure in and around the city was damaged, which meant many of the animators were unable to get to work during this vital period of the film's production. Some slept overnight in the studio, whilst others had to work from home, completing their drawings in kitchens, garages, and living rooms in order to stay on schedule for the film's release date in June. No book, no legend, just pure lion drama. The Lion King has long been billed as the first Disney animated film to feature a completely original storyline, that is, one that was not an adaptation of a pre-existing story. Though there are some individuals who dispute this claim, saying that the story took inspiration from both Hamlet and Kimba, the White Lion, an animated series from the 1960 seconds. Rafiki was a cheetah, not a baboon. The Lion King's original script featured Scar as a lone lion, unrelated to Simba, who was in charge of a pack of vicious baboons. In this version, Rafiki was written as a cheetah, and Timon and Pumbaa were both friends with Simba from the start. Hakuna Matata happened by total accident. Hakuna Matata wasn't originally in the script. Instead, there was a song about eating bugs called He's Got It All Worked Out. We couldn't convince everybody that making the entire song about eating bugs was a good idea, Minkoff said. Soon after, the research team came back from their trip to Africa with the phrase Hakuna Matata. We talked about it in a meeting with Tim Rice, and that's when the idea struck. I remember Tim saying, Hakuna Matata. It's a bit like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. A song was born. Disney brought live lions into the studio. Wildlife expert Jim Fowler brought real African animals like hornbills and lions at different stages of life into the Disney studio to serve as figure models for the team of animators working on the film. According to the film's press notes, He taught them how lions greet one another by gently butting heads and show affection by placing one's head under the other's chin. He talked about how they protect themselves by lying on their backs and using their claws to ward off attackers, and how they fight rivals by raising on their hind legs like a clash of the titans. Simba means lion, Pumbaa means fool. Storytellers like to slip in some meaningful names even if the audience are completely unaware of them. The Lion King is no exception, and there are plenty of meaningful names dotted throughout the story. Simba is the most obvious example, as his name literally means lion in Swahili. Rafiki, which means friend, also comes from Swahili, as does the name Nala, which means gift or beloved. Pumbaa, meanwhile, is Swahili for stupid or slow-witted. Timon is one of the few characters who doesn't follow this pattern. Instead, his name comes from the Greek word for respect. Just when you thought you knew everything about the Lion King, here's one more wild secret hiding in the savannah. Composer Tim Rice is said to have written around 15 versions of the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight, before Elton John recorded the version which appears in the film. This is to show Scar's an evil character, unlike the other lions who only get their claws out when they fight, or when they scratch the sofa up. Probably. Pumbaa might look lazy, but real-life warthogs can run really fast. In the wild, warthogs can run 30 miles an hour and often outrun their predators. They're great at digging tunnels and are very hardy creatures that can survive for months without water, which you'd never guess from the film. If you want to uncover more secrets behind the frames, comment the name of the Disney movie you want me to do next.